So I'm not really talking much about how the farm works. Um, the farm isn't just a storage area; it's also uh, growing your monsters for you. So when you're leveling up your monsters, key worlds, your monsters here are leveling up too, kind of like the daycare in Pokemon. It's working the same way, only it's automatic and free. It's a core part of the game. So that can have some detrimental effects. Um, First off, you can see that Alpha here, he gained 8 levels. When we left off, this is last year's level 4. We're picking him back up now at level 12, so he's gained 8 levels. He's also gained some wildness, which isn't that big a deal. 2 wildness, not bad, but his personality is shifted back. He's now spoiled, and that can be pretty disastrous. And he's also not learning any skills. I don't remember if they learn skills naturally at the farm, or you have to raise them up in the field. And we shut the book. Here we go. Okay. So spoil means average at strategy, bad at everything. So when we get him to Daredevil, so there is, in the strategy guide's opinion, there is bad or poor decision making. There is average, and I didn't do it right. There is excellent or good. I guess good is as bad as good as it gets. So when you pick one of these, tell them to use a strategy that begins to alter their personality. There is a certain quantity, like I think 5 or 6 times you have to say it before it shifts them up one. And the absolute worst you can have is lazy. Lazy's bad at everything. Fucking Dracky. Hot blood, as I said before, is best at everything. So you can give them any of the strategies and they'll do what they think is best at that time. You may be wondering why I'm putting so much emphasis on this, and it's mostly because there's going to be times when you need your party healed. Like we saw with that boss fight, we're taking a lot of damage from Boom. Excuse me. And sometimes you're not going to be able to command your team to say, hey, I need you to cast Heal Us All so we don't die. Or I need you to cast Increase to remove the amount of damage or reduce the amount of damage we're taking. If your monster is bad at strategy or decision making, it's not going to it's not going to prioritize that that particular skill you need. There's also going to be times like charging unlocks the abilities for them to use their full potential and have critical hits land. Mix and defense really don't do much, especially if your monster has no defensive skills. They'll just defend. They won't do anything else. But defense really comes into play with your healers, and that's kind of a late game kind of thing. But it's always good to get these personalities taken care of now. And I think there's a kid that said the older a monster get, the harder it is to change the personality. So there is some real dangers about leaving a monster in the farm for too long. And sometimes wild monsters will just be too high a level to actually change the personality by that point. What? Excuse me? Oh wait, Daredevil, not Hot Blood. Okay, so this is good. He shifted from went right over. Oh, he started. Well, now he's at Daredevil. So this is kind of where things get weird. Now we need to shift over to use uh, mixed, and we need to aim. We're aiming for Snobby. Snobby is so he's good at decision making. Do the crits for charging. I hope we make it back. He's at Daredevil, so he's basically at the highest capacity for good decision making for charging. So when I tell him to charge, he's gonna make a good decision. Now, if I tell him to do mixed, he's gonna not know what to do yet because he's still pretty poor at that. He doesn't really. Oh, he's got increase. That's right. So he does have something to do. So, like so, he's gonna cast increase, and that's not a good idea because he's still poisoned. So take care of that first. Charging is mostly offensive, and defensive is mostly defensive, obviously. So, abilities and spells that would mostly deal with damage mostly come with charge, as we've seen, and healing and buffing mostly comes with defensive. But you still need mixed, because mixed is where all the weird status effects and all that shit arrive at. So it's probably one of the most important strategies you can use. Now he's snobby. Okay. A few more of this and we'll be at... Smug. And after Smug, we're going to do defense. And just let it ride, and we'll eventually get Hot Blood. Oh, that's Smug already. Okay, cool. Now comes a really fun one where we have to fucking spam defense over 12 times. What great joy. This, something this could have benefited from on Pokemon is actually, being able to look up your stats in battle. That's not actually an option here. So we're not going to be here much longer. We're going to start hatching the other two. I'm kind of excited for that good boost, since that's our +2. Once monsters hit a certain point, basically the pluses are defined by the sum total of the levels of the parents. So in our case, Bino and Flora were they were both over level 20, which would make a sum of 40, and that gave us the +2 instead of +1. Where's maybe I'm wrong about this. He is good, and average right now, so I might actually just call that good. I just kind of want to. I'm sick of hitting commands over and over. I think we'll go to the volcanic cave, and then if it just becomes too tedious, we'll just head back and start hatching out the next ones. And then we'll kind of have our first bred team. I was kind of hoping Alpha would have more than 2 fucking spells, though. He really likes Fireball. But he's level 17, I was hoping it would just start falling from the sky. The more of a number, like that plus number, the monster has from being bred, the higher the base stats are upon hatching, and that means that there's like this subset of very basic, easy to learn spells that they just learn all at once, like at level 2. And it's kind of fun to watch them go through like 12 fucking spells. There's nothing saying you can't train. Like, I could go and hatch them both at the same time and take them both with me. And there's nothing stopping that from happening. It splits up the XP, though. And, it may make personality training a little harder. I don't know off the top of my head. Whether selecting the strategy changes personality, or they have to make the decision afterwards. So if one guy is really fast and strong and knocking out the enemies before the other one needs to do anything, the personality's not going to shit.